If you're looking to add sweet potatoes to your garden this year, you need to know where to start. If this is your first season growing sweet potatoes, you can always look to purchase slips at your local garden center or online. But what about developing your own slips? Although you may see people starting sweet potatoes in mason jars of water, I found an easier method, at least in my experience, that produces vibrant, healthy sweet potato slips ready to go in the ground when the soil heats up in the summer. Today, I'm going to show you my process for starting sweet potatoes at home. When I start my sweet potato slips, the first thing that I want to do is obviously get the sweet potatoes that I will be growing the slips off of. And these are ones that I harvested from last year. And you may think you need to start with a big sweet potato, but you really don't. An inch or two diameter is all that you need. They don't need a whole lot to get these started. So I've got some that might be long and skinny like this one, and then I've got some that might be a little bit smaller, and even this small is perfectly fine. The thing about this is that if you go with the smaller ones, you don't have to have as big of a tray to start them out with, and then you can save the bigger ones for eating. But don't worry, if you don't have a harvest to draw from yet and you're going with a sweet potato from the grocery store, you can still use a big one. It's not going to be a big deal. But if you have a harvest from the previous year, using some of the smaller ones is going to be better. The next thing I want to do is choose a shallow container that has some width to it, because we're going to be planting these sweet potatoes long ways. And first I'm going to fill up this container. This used to have salad in it. You can kind of see it's a bigger salad container bowl. I'm going to fill it up, 2 or 3 inches with soil, not very much. You don't need a whole lot. And for this I have a mixture of potting soil and compost and some organic slow release fertilizer. You could use some worm castings in this. It really doesn't have to be a big deal. Last year, I don't even think I used anything but potting soil. So this is not a big deal really what you use, as long as you start with a potting soil base. Before I get to planting, I'm going to moisten the potting soil just a little bit. I don't want it all that saturated, but I do want it a little bit moist. This will help the potatoes to root better when I start putting them in there. And you can do this with just water, which is what I've done in the past, but this year I added a little bit of this Organic Rev, which is an organic growth stimulant. One thing that Organic Rev does is it helps to develop root systems of the plants. And so by putting a tablespoon with this gallon of water, that's what I'm going to start out with, just so I can, give these sweet potatoes a little bit of a boost. I'm looking for kind of a coarse brownie type mixture. Like I said, not a whole lot of water, not standing water. And when I feel like everything is sufficiently wet, I'm going to pack it down just so it's even. It doesn't have to be packed, but I just want it to be even. And then I'm going to choose which sweet potato I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go with these red sweet potatoes. These are products of my first sweet potato harvest 2 years ago when I bought these from the grocery store. So I don't know what variety they are. These orange ones are Beauregard, which I bought from my feed store my first year. But I'm going to start with these red ones here, and I'm just going to put them on top here. You can just kind of see how it's just sitting on top of the soil right there. They really don't need a whole lot of space. This is fine. As long as they've got that moisture in that soil contact, they'll be good. And then from here, I'm going to go back and take that potting soil mixture, and I'm going to add a little bit more, where the potting soil is going to come about halfway up the potatoes. I want the potatoes to have a little bit of openness to light. That helps them, in my experience, to start developing those slips a little bit more rather than being completely buried. But you could also completely cover them up. I've seen people do that as well. I just like to have a little bit of it peeking up, and plus it helps me to be able to see where the slips are starting to grow. And then finally, I will add a little bit more water. I don't want it too saturated. And I definitely don't want the soil to dry out as these are starting to sprout. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it there, just kind of make sure that's all moist. Maybe add a little bit more. This is not a perfect science. Sweet potatoes will be glad to start sprouting. And I am doing this about 2 months ahead of when I plan to plant these sweet potatoes in the garden. Sweet potatoes need hot weather, and I will plant them out about a month to 6 weeks after my last frost so that the soil is sufficiently warmed. And so by starting these about 2 months ahead of time, that gives them plenty of time to grow out the slips to be ready to plant in the garden. Now on a warm and sunny day like this, I could definitely just keep these out in the greenhouse and they would probably grow really well. But I think I'm going to take them inside to my grow room and put them under grow lights, mainly because it's still getting pretty cool at night. If we have a stretch where we don't get too cool at night, I could leave them out here. The sun and the warmth of this greenhouse is obviously going to be helpful. But the grow lights and even the sunlight is what the slips are going to start reaching for when they start to break dormancy. So I want to make sure the light is there for them to start growing, and that can be achieved in my grow room. So the next step is just to wait and watch the slips to develop. It has been 2 weeks since I initially planted these sweet potatoes into these salad bins, and you can see they are already starting to develop slips. So this is what you're looking for. This one obviously is the most well developed. And what I did during this whole process is I kept them in here under the grow light. As you can see, it wasn't directly under it, it was just somewhere in the vicinity. And I also made sure to keep the potting soil moist, which helped with the root growth as they started to establish. You can see in this tray right here, there are a couple of slips just starting to emerge. But before that, what you'll notice, especially if you use one of these clear containers, is you can see the root growth here. So you know that they're starting to put on roots, and before long, you'll start seeing these slips emerge. One challenge that I have run into is making sure that the soil stays moist, but not too wet. Because if you notice here, if you keep the soil too wet, it can develop a little bit of mold on top, and so you don't want to keep it soggy and saturated. If that becomes a problem where you're having a hard time regulating the moisture, what you could do is put a light layer of organic perlite on top. Sometimes that will help to mitigate that moisture issue, but then I found that once the slips actually start emerging and growing, that's less of a problem. So all that's left to do at this point is to let them continue growing under grow lights. If it were warm outside, I might take them out to the greenhouse, but for the most part, I want to make sure that these are nice and warm because that is the environment they like growing in the best, and that will help me to be able to get the best slips started before I take them out into the garden. Now, what do we do between this initial emergence and planting in the garden? First, I'll be looking for the slips to grow a few inches tall. From there, I can either directly plant them into the moist potting soil, or I can take an extra step and place the slips in jars of water to help the roots grow out just a bit more before transferring into the potting soil. Last year, I tried both methods and each one performed equally well. So at this point, I can't say which is better. I'll probably continue to use the jar of water just until I get ready to plant several slips at once into my deep tray. After a couple of weeks, the slips should be ready to go into the garden, but make sure the garden is ready for them. The soil temperature needed for planting sweet potato slips is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. For me, this happens about a month after my average last frost. You may find your sweet potato slips growing very tall while you wait to plant outdoors, and you can trim the slips to keep them manageable. In my experience, sweet potato slips, once rooted, are not fussy. Then, when your garden is ready for them, plant them about 18 inches apart like you would any other transplant. Water them well until they're established. At this point, you just have to wait for a few months until harvest, which I'll talk about more in depth in my sweet potato harvest video. I'll link it below. While I'm sure there are many ways to start sweet potatoes, hopefully this method gives you a place to start, to begin to grow your own. And before you know it, you can continue growing from your own harvest year after year.